You know, in many parts of America, time has really not been very kind to the railroads and much of the infrastructure that once supported them. That's definitely true here in Atlanta where I live, and there's one location that's always really driven that point home for me, and that's the Pullman Yard, which is several miles outside of downtown. The yard has been occupied by several businesses since it was opened in 1904, but there's no mistaking the most notable one in all those years. The Pullman Company used to service its famous passenger coaches here. So with all that railroad history inside, I had to go in. And many years ago, when I was just a dumb teenager, I did. I was in high school at the time and wasn't really thinking about the consequences if my friends and I had gotten caught. It was a dumb risk to take, and I don't endorse trespassing, but what I found inside that place was pretty interesting. The first thing I noticed was just how big these buildings are, and keep in mind a few of them were built at the turn of the century. Also, I'll admit, it's a pretty spooky place. The rooms were dark, there was a lot of graffiti, and it never really felt like we were alone in there. It definitely had an apocalyptic feel. You could see that nature was really taking things back. But despite some of those unusual vibes, there was still a lot of history in here. One of the first examples of that was this old Amtrak passenger car. I think this was once Amtrak number 3328, a 6 double-bedroom buffet lounge car. Although it was hard to tell much, since the car's exterior was heavily vandalized and its interior was trashed. I don't really know why this thing was here, but I do know that a tourist railroad once used this property to house and maintain its rolling stock, so maybe that's it. One of the next oddities was this, what I would guess was a Union Pacific training cab. You can see back here where the instructor would run the simulation. As you might imagine, there was also a lot of heavy machinery here. They had huge gantry cranes for picking up heavy rail cars, but they also had something that most shops wouldn't. This is a linear car mover. It's on rails and can move rolling stock from one track to another. It serves the same function as a railroad turntable, just on a larger scale. I would kind of doubt that most of the stuff on this property worked anymore. A lot of it was badly rusted. This machine was in really bad shape. I think it was a boiler or an incinerator. You could probably fit a small car in there. In addition to all that rust, the Pullman Yard was also full of countless old signs. This really helped take you back in time. So with its abandoned charm, you might think this property would be a great place to film a movie, and you'd be right. Several big blockbusters have been shot right here. I'm talking about scenes in movies like Baby Driver, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Fast Five, just to name a few. Obviously, its time serving the railroads is over, but there is some good news for this place. In 2017, it was bought from the state of Georgia by a production company, and according to reports, they plan to make it into a mixed-use development. Well, I certainly can't wait to see these historic buildings restored. It'll be hard to forget about the experiences I had inside, but I'm really glad this place is being brought back to life.